I'm Rachael.
Hi, I'm Jonnie.
Hi, I'm Eliot.
I'm Jules.
And this is the Still Listening Single Showdown.
Single Showdown.
Jonnie's mum saw Liam Gallagher last night.
Yeah, guys.
Did
Okay,
she?
here we go.
Here's
My
some real
mum has
news.
met Liam Gallagher. Keep this bit in. My mum has met Liam Gallagher, and apparently he's a really, really nice guy, charming. And he sat my mum down and had a drink with her. It was really, really nice. It was a good group.
Wasn't he like, come and sit with
He
us?
sat.
Yeah,
He sat her down and said, "You're going to confirm that I'm a nice guy."
He sat them down and they had a nice chat about music. And they apparently, according to my mum, they talked about George Harrison for about an hour.
Oh.
I know. He kept on saying he's the man. He's a man.
You'd think he'd get
that.
bored of talking about the Beatles. It's like been his whole life,
It is
like
so
ripping off the Beatles.
Yeah.
But no, nice guy, Liam Gallagher. Who would have known? Not like that shit Noel. Sorry, that
That poop.
that poop Noel.
Maybe we should talk about what this show actually is, because we never do that.
Yeah.
If you don't know by now,
Episode 8/9.
episode 8/9.
All we do.
We rate new singles.
Sometimes we're a bit late.
Never early.
Not once have we been early.
And we all rate them each out of 100, and then we average it down because it's maths, and then we see who comes out on top. And we also write articles, and we have a magazine.
By the print.
So the next cover stars are Magdalena Bay
I'm sorry,
And-
Lost Bitches.
Hines.
and Hines.
Yeah,
Sorry,
sorry,
Lost
Lost
Bitches.
Bitches.
I
Bobby.
know.
You're out.
If you guys want to read my Lost Bitches interview,
It's not
never going to be
uploaded.
uploaded.
Sure, it's in the printed mag.
It'll be in
Anybody-
the next print.
If one of the 3 people out there that read the printed mag are listening right now, it's in there.
All right, the first song of the single showdown is "The Boss" by Man Woman Chainsaw.
I love my mama, baby, please, you've lost your phone, your wallet, keys are in your pocket, next to me, let me let you go. You'll touch yourself, I'll get confused, something that she wants to do, on your hands or on your mat is coming through. My husband's feeling sick, yeah, I feel bad for it. He's been out on the piss, and his temper's running high. He lips are on his lips, he loves to shoot the shit. I become like him, I become like him. Keeps going, it's compromised, but if there's more than give it up, there's not a part to miss it. Hey, all that keeps my head up, hey, it doesn't matter how much you say. I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there. Keeps going, it's compromised, but if there's more than give it up, there's not a part to miss it. Hey, all that keeps my head up, hey, it doesn't matter how much you say. I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there. You've grown up on yourself. It's plainer than it was. You held me in your palms. I held you just because. He keeps me close enough to all the men I trust. I have become like them. I've become like them. Keep it going, it's over us, but if there's more than give it up, there's not a part to fix it. Hey, your life keeps my head up, hey, it's so mad, not like you told. I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there. Keep it going, it's over us, but if there's more than give it up, there's not a part to fix it. Hey, your life keeps my head up, hey, it's so mad, not like you told. I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there, I'll have your reference over there.
All right, that was Man Woman Chainsaw with "The Boss." What did everyone think?
That was boss.
That was boss as hell.
boss.
That was epic.
And we knew the song was coming out because I was chatting to their manager, who also manages Heinz, and he said, just because I was like, I love the new single, and he's like, just wait for the next one because it's a quote, Bond on acid. And I don't think that's a bad description, honestly. He was so gassed about the song. So maybe that like hyped it up too much for me. And the first time I listened to it, I was like, but actually like that is just a really fun and good and dark song.
Truthfully, that was the first time I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously always get compared to like Black Country New Road, but I feel like they are very much like a thing in themselves these days. They're definitely like, I don't know,
established in their sound.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I think
and
the Black
found
Country
themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
The Black Country reference just annoys me anyway, because any sort of multi-instrumental alternative rock band
just gets grouped in.
compared to Black Country New Road. And
Well,
it's just
originally back in
boring.
the day, it was just 3 of them, and then they kept adding in more members.
I feel like I have a soft spot for them
This
because
little
that.
insider knowledge.
Oh,
you
come
know?
on.
I feel like, especially with, I don't know, it's easy to compare any sort of like heavy, almost like punkish band to the newer stuff that's come out, like Ammon and the Sniffers. Which my only criticism for them was that I think the vocals are too clear and too cut and too mastered.
Well, for Amel.
Yeah.
Or for any kind of sort of new punk band. So I
It
think
seems
to
too
hear,
polished.
or even like rock bands. So I feel like any kind of band that puts like a little bit of distortion and lowers the vocals and lets the instruments do the work, it's fucking big tick. So it's a big tick in my book.
What are your thoughts on the single?
I feel like a live version of that would be way better. I feel like
Yeah.
there's something was lost in the mix for that for me.
I get what you're saying. I wonder who produced it.
Yeah.
Did you think it could have been longer at all?
I feel like it could have been
No,
longer.
I thought it was actually a really good song, and I liked the various bits of it. I liked kind of like the guitar breakdowny bit. I don't know if they'll ever have the same level of success as like a Black Country New Road or.
You would hope so, though.
I think they could. I think there's definitely a massive gap in the market now. And
I
feel like
agree.
the audience wasn't done with trying to find that Black Country New Road sound.
Do you think it's because Black Country New Road they've gone into creatively they've sort of created a relatively not new sound, but they've done something with it.
Yeah.
Than, in comparison, these sort of bands like Man, Woman, Chainsaw are sort of expanding on the old genres.
Yeah. Totally that.
Yeah.
Totally. I also kind of feel bad talking about Black Country New Road when talking about.
Darn.
Hate
Man,
that.
Woman,
They
Chainsaw.
go hand in hand.
They do go hand in hand.
Everyone
They do go
knows
hand
it.
in hand. But yeah.
What scores would everyone give it?
I'm going to give it an 84.
Whoa.
I really did like it.
Nice.
As a single, though, from the EP, it excites me. So 84 from me.
I think I need to be less stingy with my scores.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it an 80. 80.
I'm going to give it an 80 as well because I agree with you. You know, like they are a really cool band in a lot of different ways. But I think I'm on your page that like it would have been nice to have the vocals maybe a bit higher in the mix.
I'm actually going to go quite low. I think I'm going to go like 64.
Interesting.
I just feel like, that the mix on that track was just like not dynamic enough to like really show their sound.
Fair.
Yeah, not my bag. But
Yeah.
maybe that's because I've only ever really seen them live and I haven't really listened to their songs like as actual like digital.
Yeah, go
digitally
see them live
formatted.
because there's definitely like a more crispness to it.
Yeah.
In a live performance.
This
Do I
is Much Ado About Nothing by Waxahatchee or whatever.
Waxahatchee.
I throw it in the right direction. Please don't look my way. You stare directly in my eyes, 'cause you are brave. You drive around in circles, talking yourself out of rushing. And I sit alone and wait so patient. Much ado about nothing. the yellow roses die a symbolic death. I watch the sky fill up with shapes I cannot explain. I tell you every passing thought, I was just looking for pain. Oh no, the earth is moving, the groundwork's compromised. Tell you to lose my number, and then I call you twice. Oh no, it's getting dark, everyone's eyes on me. Light me up with one spark, relish the anarchy I lead. Every light on, haunting bygone, play it off like I'm cynical, but I swear, and I swear, say it past, stare at your picture, it's visceral, and it's crushing. Much ado about nothing. Much ado about nothing.
All right, that was Waxahatchee with Much Ado About Nothing.
Johnny-
Well, I mean, you listen
Johnny
to
laughed.
it so attentively.
Well, despite the fact that I'd have to go to the bathroom and to get another beer, I do actually think it sounded a lot like Miley Cyrus in her early work. And then I think it.
Don't do Miley dirty like that.
No, I
like-
think it was exactly the kind of late ooze, sort of countryified. No. It's like semi-countryified, wannabe Dolly Parton, actually Hannah Montana, kind of just pop sludge. Not a big fan. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really naturally listen to music like that. So it's hard to compare it to what I think is good. But I thought that was a bit dull. I also think the lyricism was a bit lazy. I mean, that's just because I have an allergy to anyone saying the word visceral. Because I just think there's a better way to describe things.
Like
these
you're moist.
days. Yeah, like that. Like if you have friends over for a dinner party, a dinner
party.
a dinner party.
You guys know
the
when you have a
slurs
dinny
at the
party.
beginning.
That's
A dinner party.
You have a dinny party.
If you have a dinner party.
A dinny
last
party.
dinny
Not a dinner party.
When you guys have a dinny party.
Please, no.
Whoever hasn't had a dinny party cast the first stone.
Basically a dinner party, and that's on in the background. I'm not mad. But would I ever listen to that?
It's filler.
Naturally, no. It's filler. That's the point I'm trying to say. Okay, what do you guys think?
I've listened to enough Waxahatchee stuff to agree with you. It's like just a bit like generic alt country folk that didn't sound very inspired. You know, there was some nice chord progression in it, but I get what you're saying. It just felt a bit like you'd hear it in like Topshop or something.
Shout out to Top Man.
Miss those V-necks.
No, not the V-necks. What did you think?
I didn't mind it.
I mean, the lyrics were brilliant. I heard so much of the lyrics.
Yeah, it just sounded very similar, like almost exactly the same as the last song that came out.
Why do you guys think that Waxahatchee, what was it?
Waxahatchee.
Oh
Why do you guys think that Waxahatchee has such a huge online following?
I didn't even think she did.
Drop it in the comments
She's
below.
like-
Does she have a big following?
There's a huge following on
Well, it's probably the Pitchfork effect.
Yeah.
The last two albums got really the best new music or whatever.
Maybe all the Swifties want to be like, oh, I like Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, but I also listen to other cool stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
cool
spoken
Taylor-
indie
I get
and
that.
It's
pop.
exactly the same as Taylor Swift.
If anything, it's like the Beyonce as well. It's like it's the year for country music. So
Yeah. All the light is
Mm.
being shone on that genre.
And I used to be one of those bitches that was like, I listen to anything except country.
it has so much to offer.
I think
There's
country
so much
does have a
love
lot
there.
of like stigma around it. So it's nice that people like maybe have given it more of a chance this year.
Do you think that that's because of the new country music that's come out? Because I mean, if you look back at like, I don't know, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, any of the Highwaymen. I mean, what's his name? Died, didn't he? Recently.
Who?
That's a very good question. It's his first name, and then his second name is the first name, and then son on the end.
Oh, like every other
Easy.
country music song.
Like Will Williams.
Cut this out. And we're back. Chris Christopherson. There's a famous story about how he was at a party, at Willie Nelson's birthday party, and one of these new country singers came up to him and said, "None of that lefty shit, Chris."
Oh, shit.
Chris flipped off at him. He went,
Wow.
Chris Fliptopperson. And he said, "Have you ever worn your country's flag? Have you ever killed someone and cashed the check?" Because these new country people, they're all about rock, flag, and eagle, you know, patriotism. And
I don't think Waxahatchee's about this kind of shit, though.
Waxahatchee is all about imperialism and the US hegemony over the global stage. I think that's fucked up.
She's just talking about the body
Yeah,
and being
she's just
visceral.
singing that
Visceral.
song.
And kicking your feet on your bed with your belly on the duvet and going, woohoo.
Did she say duvet?
She says duvet.
Duvet.
And that's it. Anyway, what do you guys think out of 100 then?
I'll give it a 30.
You didn't even
Wow,
get
you
it,
didn't
though. You only
even
listened
hear
to 30% of it.
That's all I wanted to hear.
What score would you give it, Jules?
It wasn't my favourite, but I feel like it was good. It was better than the Man, Woman, Chainsaw song, in
Wrong.
my opinion.
What?
Dead wrong.
No, it's just nice. It's just a nice song. So I'm going to give it a 65.
I feel like it was just like good filler music for the girlies. So I'm going to give it a 53.
I'm going to give it a 50 because it was just a bit middling.
Middle of the road.
Middle of the road.
Middle of the road.
Middle of the Black Country New Road. Let's talk about them again.
Yeah.
That's all it was
It
about.
was good, but it's not Black and New.
It's just not, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no.
What could Waxahatchee do to become more Black Country New Road? Drop it in the comments, guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right, the next song is The Cure with Alone. right, that was The Cure with Alone. What did you think, Jules? I feel like you've got some opinions.
Too long.
Pretty brutal.
Too long. It just sounded like they were just using all the settings on the keyboard.
Oh my god, yeah.
And now we're going to do this. I feel like a comeback single of like 20 years.
I'll give you that. You know, they're good at writing pop songs.
Yeah.
So like, they could have wrote something a bit poppier, and I think it would have been a bit more, like, I don't know, successful in a sense. But I actually really like elements of that song. Like, I like I don't know if it's like a guitar or a keyboard doing the like blim 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 blim.
Yeah.
Blim. Sounds really lush and really
full.
full and really like it's washing over you, and it's like really dreamy in a sense. But for 7 minutes as like a lead single or something after like a 25-year break or whatever it is.
I would completely agree. I think that was classic Cure. But I think it was classic Cure in the sense that it's a song that's in the middle of the album.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one of their hits.
Yeah.
I think this is the consequence of being a band that sticks with your sound for so long.
Yeah.
Eventually, that would have been one of their classics if it were 30 years ago.
Yeah.
However,
and 3 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Tastes have changed, the world's changed, music's changed. I think as albums go, or as tracks go, as singles go,
Single Showdowns go.
as single showdowns go, it's not a hit.
I think you're being too hard on this song because I think this actually does sound quite modern in a sense.
Really?
But-
I think you need to listen. This is all I say. Listen with noise cancelling headphones on.
Have you already listened to
No,
it?
but I'm just saying there's loads
Yeah.
of like little tricks
Yeah.
and bits
Yeah,
in the
like-
production.
Yeah.
There's like a bit where it sounds like it's like played on vinyl, it's being like scratched back or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think like little tweaks like that do make it more palatable
Yeah.
for like the taste of today. I
Cater
don't know.
to
I
that.
think it felt a bit self-indulgently theatrical,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And if you're gonna add that, you need to like layer some things back to then add
Yeah.
again. You need like that whole. I was
That's
gonna
not-
have like a sex reference in it. Basically, you know, sometimes you need to like stop for a second and then go back into it, and then it feels even better.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone there.
But do you think
But
if they did cater
should
to
do that.
the taste of today, if they introduced sort of if it was meant to be like what did you say, like the kind of sort of like swelling, action-packed sort of motivational song you want to play when you're working out or some shit like that, do you think that would divorce it from the Cure? Like maybe they throw a violin there and they just kind of like, I don't know what the term is, but they throw in this huge orchestral piece, maybe a 3 or 4 piece orchestra in the back with violins and pianos and all this kind of stuff. I think that could divorce it from their sound. I think that was exactly how their sound has always been. And I think that's why it's not so popular today, is because their sound is no longer relevant in
But
today's pop culture.
I feel like that's just not true though, because I feel like the gothy thing's never been more popular.
Really?
Like, yeah, for sure. Like, I think people really love that aesthetic.
They're not
like,
goths. They're Cure heads.
No, but they're as close to goth as any goth band. Like, I've seen the Cure live before, and like, it was boring. It was so boring.
You've seen the Cure live?
Twice.
It's pretty
And
cool.
funnily enough, like, the better time was when they came out during Brian Cox, the Science Guy's Christmas Compendium.
Wow,
At the-
Jesus. Well done for
I
saying
know,
that.
at the Hammersmith Apollo, and they played like literally like 3 songs. They played like the hits. Where when I saw them live at Festival, they did like a 2.5 hour set, and I think they played like 2 hits.
Snooze fest.
So it's funny. It was a snooze
Yeah.
fest. But for for a Cure song, I actually thought that song was
Yeah.
quite ambitious and kind of like
Really?
yeah, I liked it,
I feel
but
like it
don't
just
be
re-
swayed by my opinion. I thought it was it was a pretty song. You know, it wasn't a bad song. I would give it probably like an 80. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
respectfully
I
wrong.
liked it, you know.
I think I'd give it
Don't let me influence you guys.
a 67.
Yeah.
67.
Interesting. I think if it came out 40 years ago, it would be a hit. It'd be
Yeah.
But I think
Eliot and that
it was so reminiscent of their track Lullaby, but in a much longer,
Really?
in a longer way with less of the vocals. But I think
And the whole track's just different. But like it's reminiscent.
it's reminiscent. It is reminiscent.
They're really
Yeah.
good at melodies, like catchy vocal
Exactly.
melodies that stick with you, but that doesn't have a vocal, the vocals don't even come in till like 4 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
True.
though I do like the kind of lushness of it all, it like didn't, hit as a single. But I like the song, so I'm going to stick.
And that's why I'm giving it a 67.
The next song is All My Freaks by Divorce.
Oh my freak.
I'm only here to make you all my freaks. Stepping into no man's land can be heavy, so I go on the back of my jet ski, and science doesn't impress me. Oh, I could learn to hate myself again. Oh, I'm only here to make you all my friends. Myself again. Oh, I'm only here to make you all my friends. I'm only here to make you all my
That was Divorce with All My Freaks.
All my
What did All My Freaks thing?
Oh, I thought it was just very Paramore, wasn't it? What do you think,
Oh,
Rachel?
for God's sake. Okay, one, that wasn't Paramore.
Yeah.
'Cause Paramore are better than Divorce. Can we
Yeah.
just put it out there? No, I think it was pretty basic, and they could like do. Like, I think the problem with that is that they released it too late in the year. I think if they released that at the start of summer, they would have got a lot of traction
Yeah.
with that. I think it's a very summery tune.
I agree.
So they released it pretty late, but it is like I think it's the first single off that album that's coming out in like February or April. So
Okay.
it's like they're in for the long haul now.
Foreshadowing.
And I do think this is a good like lasting tune. Like I do think it has a bit of plays in it before it's like, oh, it's a skip, because it's like a pretty basic feel good indie pop song. And I liked it. Like I don't think it does any more than that, but I liked it.
I agree with you. You know, like it's definitely like a bit basic indie, but I don't know why I do have a soft spot for Divorce.
Me
you know,
too.
when I first heard Divorce and English Teacher, I thought that Divorce could potentially have the success that English Teacher ended up having. But, you know, obviously English Teacher did. So I think they're both signed to Universal. So
I think Divorce will do very well.
I think timing is really important with these kind of bands. And like, yeah, you're right. Like if they had released this in May, it could have been like a good song on a little summer playlist, but it's not very going into winter kind of vibes.
Yeah, you can definitely hear like snippets of that being like used in the highlight reel for like Reading Festival or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's pop.
Or the background of a Glastonbury type thing.
Yeah.
Or a car advert.
Or a car advert. Yeah, for sure.
Utterly forgettable.
Yeah.
This track. I feel like
I agree.
even like 30 seconds after listening to that, I was like, what was I listening to? I can't remember. Oh no, I remember. Yeah. I thought it was utterly. It was not to rag them at all. I think it was a pointless song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think it
agree.
didn't have a message to get across.
It did. It changed from all my freaks to all my friends.
Oh, my freaks
Oh,
are
wow.
That's fun.
That's so
friendship.
heartwarming.
They said that the new album is like 12 entirely new songs, and I do think they could put a load of their singles that have done very well on the new album. So I like applaud them for that.
Yeah, new to who? Like Helen Keller. She's not like. I feel like I really feel like it's something it's not like something I've never heard before. Like, that's a track I've heard 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, in car adverts.
I just think they've got a really sweet thing going. Like I just think they're doing well at what they're doing.
So well, they got an audience. They've got a good record label. They've probably got a very a core base of devoted fans. But it doesn't matter. It's not really our kind of bag. I think because they're clearly doing well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. But I agree. I don't know.
So speak to both of us then.
It's hard to make up my mind. I think that other stuff's a bit more interesting, isn't it?
It's more like
Yeah.
sort of musical theatre.
Yeah.
I kind of
Okay.
like less.
But that was a bit like a shit tennis kind of vibe.
It just
Tennis.
sounds
Tennis by
like,
Courting.
Do you know the band?
Oh,
No, the band Tennis.
I thought even the sport.
It just sounded like Australian indie from like 2012. It just
Yeah.
didn't sound very. It felt like a bit guilty pleasure-y, but it also.
Have you heard of Tame Impala?
Yeah, apparently it's one guy.
It's not actually.
There are like some songs that are very much. This is a guilty pleasure. That didn't like sway too much in that direction either. It just felt very meh. It just didn't really convince me either way. Like I didn't hate it, but it just didn't even give me enough to formulate a proper opinion on it.
A nothing song.
A nothing song, exactly. And I get the like car advert commercial appeal of it.
It's just like a clean indie pop song.
Yeah, which
I do feel like they're kind of trying to sell us insurance.
yeah, it's definitely hold music.
Hold music, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
The song didn't have as much depth as I would have liked, I guess.
You're right.
But other than that, it wasn't bad.
It's just going to be
It's-
on every Squarespace ad.
Oh my god,
Man.
that is so Squarespace.
That was so
That's so
MeUndies.
creative agency.
Yeah.
So good.
Like Sizzle Reel. Here are all the brands we've worked with this month.
Oh my god, that's true. It's unfortunately true. I think they're going to be stuck in a purgatory
Yeah.
of sort of back-to-back sale, business to business sales.
Yeah.
Back to back.
B2B.
B2B sales.
Back to back.
It's what you'd watch in
Out
a stereotypically corporate television. show.
Yes, it's on everyone's LinkedIn reel if that
It's in
exists.
The Big Bang Theory, guys.
Or, yeah, it is. It totally is.
No, sorry,
That's
young
very-
Sheldon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Demotivated.
It's very young Sheldon.
I feel like you two
Oh,
are
it is.
too unfair on this.
No,
It's
it's
just a
so
nice
Big
song.
Bang Theory.
I don't
Big
want a
Bang
nice song.
Theory.
I want a song that makes me happy to listen to it. Makes me think, man.
Yeah.
I want a thinker.
Let's talk scores.
Let's look scores on the doors, George.
What?
I'm going to give it a 4.
Johnny, you're not allowed to give it a 4. You're just not allowed to.
All right, I'll give it a 14. I was really struggling to
Do you
sum
not
it.
remember Rachel's great impression?
Even now, it sounds like you're scatting, you're freestyling. Skid about that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give it a 72.
72.
It's because guess what? It's on my playlist, and I just think they're a good band doing good
You've
things.
actively searched them to put on your playlist, or Spotify has
Spotify
fed
said,
you?
"Babe, you're gonna love this," and I said, I don't
See,
love
there
it,
we
I like
go,
it. And I
there we
said, okay.
go.
When I cook my scrambled eggs in the morning, that's gonna be
When
on,
you
and I don't
cook your
mind it.
scrambled eggs. That's messed up, man. The scrambled eggs don't deserve that shit.
Yeah, give him a break.
They're cooked as hell.
I really want to hear the rest of the album now because I feel like
Really?
Ow!
Some kind of mental
no,
breakdown.
because I feel like they're not as generic as you two are making them out to be, and I feel like maybe the rest of the album might have a bit more depth to it.
I feel like we've touched on those.
So, but the single, I am in both camps with it. I think it's like an alright indie pop song, but I also think you're right, it's a bit average. So I'm going to give it a 50.
Oh my god, are they friends with the pod or
okay.
something?
Fucking hell, 50 is
There are
pretty
only
low.
subscribers.
I'm going to give it a 14.
I just don't.
Actually, no, the first
50 is
number.
pretty good.
The first
Yeah,
number.
true.
To be fair, the first number I had was 4, so I'm going to stick with that.
You
4
can't
or
stick with
14.
4.
It was the first number I said. I can't
You
choose.
did say 4.
It was
Okay.
first.
I'm going to give it a 10. 'Cause that was
Oh,
shit. That was so
fucking
shit.
hell.
Big dog.
That was so shit. What's happening?
Safe.
I'm actually personally offended.
Why?
Dunno,
You got fed to you by Spotify Radio. Like you.
Did it really?
I literally followed them on Instagram. I knew it was coming out. I was
Yeah.
counting down.
You weren't.
I wasn't.
Okay, so how did you actually find the song?
Because I followed them on Instagram and Spotify told me about it.
Spotify told you about it.
Jesus
That's why.
Christ.
They hate me because I tell the truth.
What can I say?
Just like Jesus.
All right, the next song is Johnny's favorite artist, Geordie Greep.
Slipped it in.
It's Geordie Greep with Blues.
I'm going to go for a shit.
You're all grown up, you have your own woven gloves. You have arrangements and assignations. You keep up appearances and have a reputation. You sit in a park and work on your sonnets. You talk about yourself in the past tense. You have opinions that can't be shaken on morals firm. Do you know what I mean? 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 Is your favorite turn of phrase? You know what I mean? 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 Is your second favorite turn of phrase? Speak English better than anyone, and you can curse like no one ever has done, and you have a bigger dick than any man who's ever lived, and you can come more than 100 stallions in a room that smells of cigarettes and carry on under the sheets freezing cold with damp. You voyage far and wide across plain and ocean, step on marsh on celestial bridges and knock down doors and climb in windows and listen in. Listen, 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 listen. Can you hear that? The signs of life, not yet awake, the stirring, the screwing up of eyes, a blanket that forms mountains, the valley between knee and cheek, the steep slide down to the feet, the toe poking out. Be careful, don't touch, have discipline, my boy, just watch. Stay outside in the cold. And you can feel it, you can feel it, you can feel it, see? There's a universe in this room, you scrounger of toilets and pillager of tombs. You don't have to work because working is for schmucks. You know God would like your way. You are ready to admit to murder, to assault, to robbery, to pederasty, to fraud. You are ready to take the blame for every crime of all them. But the jury is out to lunch. You imagine a roaming camera that captures your melancholy. You walk the streets that stink of disease. You turn up your collar like James Dean. You put your right hand under your jacket and pretend you have a gun. You put your left hand under your jacket and pretend you're Napoleon. You squeeze your spots till they bleed. You turn your face so no one sees. Do better still play accordions. You should pay one to follow you around and play your theme. Soon your nails will sin. Soon your earrings will ring. Soon your organs will grow little mouths and speak for themselves. Soon your body will stage a civil war. Soon your heart will burst out free. And soon it will look you in the face and ask, what have you done? Why have you led it astray? Soon your brain will migrate. Soon your balls
Geordie Greep with Blues.
Oh, shit.
Get some new material, Johnny.
Fucking get some new material, Geordie Greep.
You know what I will say? I really enjoyed the new Geordie Greep album, but that song specifically seems like an interesting, not the best opener, because it feels a bit like a leftover Black Midi song. And like, you know, compared to Holy Holy, like, doesn't have the same like magic in it, you know.
What magic is that? Black magic. Black MIDI magic.
Yeah, I guess.
I thought it was just it was a waste of time. I thought it was a waste of ability. He's clearly got some kind of musical potential in the fact that he's produced so much music.
I might just release an entire hour-long
You're coming to
album.
the next Geordie Greep show because you'll be blown away.
I mean, he's
like,
clearly got skill and talent, obviously, but I think he's using it to produce music. It's just distasteful.
What's distasteful about it?
His vocals.
But you can't get him to change his voice, man.
He's from Walthamstow, mate.
It's from Walthamstow.
Leave
Hence
him
the
alone.
Irish accent in the song.
yeah,
Why have
the
you got-
farmer.
Actually, in fact, you can get him to change his vocals because he changes it every bloody song.
Yeah, he's from a different fucking shire each time.
He's doing like a bit, and you know how much men love their bits.
Yeah.
All that men do these days is bits, and it gets
I
on my
love a good
nerves.
bit.
Comment your
Of course
favourite
you
bit
do.
down below.
I agree that because that's the opener of the album, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's but the rest of the album's quite good, especially the close of the album. I think is very, very good. And it's a grower. Like the more you listen to it, the more you find in it, I think. But that song in particular, the opening is great. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a pause. It's really, really good. And when it returns to it at the end, I like that. But I don't know that it really retains its own form. Like I think it gets messy in the Geordie Greep
You
style.
know what? It's funny
It
you
gets
say
too
messy because that was the word I was about to say.
It's just
It
gets
gets
too
messy,
much.
like.
And that's his whole vibe is chaos. And I, back that for you, mate. And it's a good comment on society or whatever you want it to be. But also
Stretch.
Yeah,
Shut up.
society. man.
shut up. We live in a society and Geordie Greep knows it.
I think it was a pointless song once again. I think it's the kind of theatrical nonsense that you expect from an explosion of theatre kids. I don't think it's the kind of thing. It's the kind of thing that you'd hear in a flash mob. It's not really something you'd want to hear in your day to day.
Flash mob. What kind of flash mobs have you seen?
Yeah.
The ones that Geordie Greep apparently fucking champions. I think it was utterly disgraceful. I think it's a waste of musical talent. I think he could do so much better with he's got a
What do
studio.
you want him to
Yeah, what do you
seem
want him
to
to
do? Because
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
like when he did
Well,
something bad with
Yeah.
Holy
You're
Holy.
right. I'd like him to stop making music. Geordie Greep, if you're watching this, you've got 3 other people supporting you. All right, 1/4 of people not liking you. That's fine.
Yeah, you can survive.
You can survive on that. Geordie Greep, you're not for me.
I do feel like it was definitely like the leftovers of like Black Midi shit.
Yeah.
But maybe he did that on purpose, or maybe it was just like we need to start somewhere, and that maybe that was still in his system.
Somewhere
to
that's
make it.
familiar.
Yeah,
I guess
I
if
kinda
you're
get that.
calling something the new sound,
yeah.
to begin with a sound
Yeah.
that's sort of old,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah.
take that from there and completely fragment it
Yeah.
and build something anew, makes it even more new.
Yeah.
If you wanted to say like, I am the herald of a new genre, I guess that's a good way.
I feel
to
like they are
What
his.
genre
That is
is-
his.
what new genre was that?
It's like
Don't care.
jazzy
Don't
prog,
Okay.
isn't it?
Well, we saw him last night, and it was like amazing.
She said
Did you
one.
just have a
She
cigarette?
stole it from my hands.
Like,
Like Prometheus stealing fire.
You sound like Geordie Greep.
And that actually was very Geordie Greep, wasn't it?
But that song did not sit anywhere. I'm very confused by that song.
he did.
Yeah.
He did say you've
Album.
got the biggest dick around.
Oh yeah, like a
And
thousand stallions.
you come like 1,000 stallions.
Don't forget that.
Don't forget that.
Great line.
Not to sound like I'm some kind of like 50s fogey listening to the Beatles for the first time,
Bogey.
but it was just crass. It's like
rude.
it's just like somebody singing about, I don't know, making love to somebody, but not in a sexy way, not like a Marvin Gaye way, just in a sort of like
Boisterous.
It just felt gross.
That you're missing the
I
point.
kinda
entirely.
like
It's-
that,
I know.
though.
I don't care.
Don't care.
I like that angle in the album because I guess it's like not exactly like glorifying it, is it? Like,
I would disagree entirely. I
You
think
just said he'd come like 1,000 stallions.
that's-
Yeah,
what
but
else-
he-
is he
it's
being
a-
himself or is that a character?
Hyperbole.
It's a character,
It's
yes.
all character
Is
studies.
his
Yes.
character a cunt?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're getting it
that's-
now.
Why would you play that character?
Oh my god, because it's
Because
an
there's-
investigation into the
Yeah.
toxicity of masculinity. Like, look at the album cover.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
Okay, it's like a guy with his head chopped off,
It's on
right? And
screen
a woman's
right now.
trying to kiss him and chopping off his head or some shit like that. And it's like, it's like a character, each song is sort of like a character study of that, like, really toxic man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it justifies all of these, like, as you said, crass and uncomfortable
And I feel
points
like
of view.
I feel like those themes are really interesting, and the way he kind of like
Mm.
parallels it with like the the man, like clearly it's so toxic in a sense, but also there's like so much self doubt and pity. It's like talking about he's got the biggest dick in the world or something. It's like clearly he doesn't. This character.
I think if you're playing a character that says all this kind of stuff, it is sort of exemplifying the toxic masculinity stereotype. And at what point is it no longer a character? If you're not doing anything with the lyricism by saying, I've got a big cock, I can come 1,000 times like a stallion, I'm singing out all this kind of stuff, that's not a character anymore if I'm not doing anything with it. If you're not doing like an interview or whatever, saying like, if I get up on stage and say some like sexist, misogynist nonsense, but I don't do anything about it, I'm not saying anything about it, then I'm just being sexist, and misogynist. If I'm Geordie Greep and I'm getting on stage and I'm saying all these like super macho things, but I'm not making a comment on it, then I'm just being macho.
So you're saying that if he was sexist and misogynistic,
we wouldn't be able to tell. No, we wouldn't be able to tell, because right now he's making lyrics that say like all this hyper masculine stuff. If you're not saying this is a character and this is why it's a character, this is why
do you
like
need to be spoon-fed?
I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying that if I get up on stage and I say something racist and I say, "Oh no, it was a character." Look at David Bowie as a thin white duke when he went through that phase, and he was a faux fascist, racist guy, and it was a character.
Yeah.
That got a massive backlash because he wasn't doing anything with it. He just got up on stage and was racist.
Yeah.
You can't separate that.
I think that
you would love The Mummy too. Because every 10 minutes, the guy who like protects Egypt or whatever comes in and he's like, "Yes, this bracelet." He gives so much exposition of. Like,
I love The Mummy too. First of all, the Scorpion King. Can we not agree that if you're up on stage and you're saying something racist and then you say, "Oh, it was a bit," then you're just racist?
Number one,
Yeah.
it's not
I
being
can-
racist.
I know,
I
but I'm
can
saying
back
as an alternative.
No,
But
one,
like that's totally separate.
it's separate because he's a
Yeah.
man. He's not a black person. He's not a white person being racist.
Okay,
I think that
But he's
the
a man
entire,
being sexist.
but the entire, I would agree with you, but the entire album is so hyperbolic,
Yeah.
and it's if you actually, Johnny, listen to it rather than smoking your fags. And I think that you're missing the nature of art. Like, you don't go into like an art gallery and look at a picture and go, "Well, I don't really understand why that's like a commentary on the Cold War." If no one says this is a painting about the Cold War,
Yeah.
In fact, no, people do say that. That's usually in the description next to the painting.
Disagree. There's so many things that you can read and understand and investigate and
interpret.
interpret and defer from art.
Okay, in your idea, in your example, if I was in the gallery, no, listen to me. If I was in the gallery and there was a piece that was very, very pro, let's say, if you're saying Cold War, let's say very, very pro, I don't know, authoritarian, for example.
Yeah.
And I make a painting that's pro-authoritarian. If there's no description, if you're not saying, "Oh, this is a bit," no, listen to me. If I'm not saying that I'm making this as a critique, if I'm not saying this is a critique on those authoritarian positions, then I'm just being authoritarian.
But the irony is, he has said.
He has said this.
How am I supposed to know that?
Okay, scores out of 100.
That was so heated.
Scores on the
That's what it's all about, man.
doors.
On the doors. Like 84. Yeah,
Wrong.
84. That was high, but like, yeah,
84,
definitely felt
wow.
like the dregs
That
of
is high.
Black Midi stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't like that it was on this album. It felt very separate from the rest of the album.
And it's not like he needed to bulk out the album. He could have happily
Exactly.
taken
Yeah,
it off.
Exactly.
It
But it
could
was
do
still
with
like
shortening a little
very
bit.
good.
I would give it a 70 because it's not my favorite song on the album. In fact, like I said, it like feels like a Black Midi leftover. It doesn't really suit the album. I think there's elements of it that are like interesting, but it gets messy, and it's not a very enjoyable song compared to Holy Holy, which is very like it's got a magical thing going for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 69.
Really?
That's the sex number.
Did you know? Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's my favourite on the album, but I appreciate what he's doing, and there's elements of it that I think are 100 because I think they're really cool and very quirky and
Like
very
what?
fun.
Yeah.
So the back.
We don't have to talk about his voice the entire time.
No, I'm just saying. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I am saying that.
Well, then why was that such a struggle?
Because she sat next to you.
Stupid woman.
Fuck the continuity. Get me away from this guy.
Geordie Greep be like, stupid women.
Okay, Johnny, what would you give it out of 100?
I give it a 0.
Okay.
It was utterly unenjoyable. I were to give it a real score that I would say on the download, I think the backing track was so good that I'd say that it would probably bump it up to about 30, 40.
Are you serious?
But no, but the lyricism and the vocals ruined it for me so much that I give it a 0.
So do it 0 or average 15?
No, 0 because that was my first answer.
All right, the last song is I Put Everything by Morgan Noise. Morgan Noise with I Put Everything.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
What do you think?
I really like that, actually.
It had a weird structure. It wasn't like first chorus. It was just like one mush of a thing. But I like the way it ended. I like build up to the end, how it dropped, and then like got a bit more like vibey at the end. What did you think, Jules?
I think that was definitely the most interesting song we've had all night in terms of like song structure.
What does it say about us that we think that was the most interesting song, but we don't really have a lot to say about it?
That's a good point. Hey, I have a lot to say about it. I think that
I could say more.
The electronic influence in it is really interesting. And I think the way that they married that with the other like sort of genre pieces in that was really good. Because like there's a lot of really cool smaller artists doing a lot of good stuff with electronic music. Like there's a artist from Edinburgh called Eliot, and she's releasing a new single soon, I think, and her stuff is sort of like that, sort of more melodic, but I think like the sort of backing track and beneath it all, like underpinning it, I think having it sort of more of like a technological feel makes it a really interesting listen, and obviously quite dissonant sometimes, but I think the dissonance is like really enjoyable in that track. Like I don't think it goes on for long enough that you go, oh my god, like they've just in the wrong key, like change the fucking key.
Yeah.
I think it was really, really interesting, really clever.
Yeah, I really like the production on it too.
Yeah.
I thought it was very like, compared to say the Man Woman Chainsaw, it's like a lot more polished, but weird in the right way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I was going to say this. I was going to say a very similar thing. I think even though the vocals were very crisp, I think it really complemented the track. I think it was it just felt right.
I'd like to hear a whole album from Morgan Noise.
Because I think they would be really good at versatility.
Do you think it's hard for bands to create new sounds?
Yeah,
For sure.
Not Geordie Greep.
No.
I mean,
Then
obviously, in general, it is hard for any band to create a new sound because the Beatles did it all. But I mean, do you think it's hard for new bands to sort of get that sound to become popular? Do you think it's hard for them to sort of breach out without being compared to another genre?
I think it could be a whole podcast. You know, the problem with music these days is like, you know, it's like movies. I always think about this. It's like the limit of creativity. At the end of the day, like, will there ever be another genre the same way that there was a movement with hip hop and like, you know, before 1980, whatever, like hip hop didn't exist. Like,
I agree with the point. Obviously, it is hard. We're talking about the music industry here. It's like heavily oversaturated.
Yeah.
Can you even get a job being an assistant of an assistant of an assistant
Yeah.
to an admin for minimum wage in London? You cannot.
No, but you
Yeah.
should. You should.
You should work for us
You should
for
work
free
us.
For
because
free.
it's fun. It's friendship.
No,
It's
I
free.
You want to be paid in exposure.
Yeah. If you want to go for gigs for free, that probably only cost £5 to go to anyway.
Email Eliot at stilllistening.co.uk.
yeah, none of that .co.uk shit.
Yeah,
Fuck the
that's
UK.
cheap.
We're global, babe.
Thatcher.
But this song was great. Honestly, it was a good song, and I was really enthralled by it.
Yeah, it was definitely one of
Enthralled.
the more interesting songs of the evening.
It definitely stood out. It stood out.
Stood out.
It stood out. It definitely stood out comparatively. Was it? Were we only saying that because we were listening to pop all night?
We
Yeah,
weren't
I like
listening
it.
to any pop.
We were listening to
Like
so
Cure.
much pop.
Geordie Greep, the new sound.
Geordie Greep is pop. Hence say guys, Geordie Greep is pop.
Oh, I don't know, man.
The Cure is not pop, but it's what we've heard since the 80s.
Yeah.
So comparatively, it could be pop because it's popular music. Think about it, guys. That one's
Or
a
read
think
about it on a sign next to a painting.
Or on stilllisteningmagazine.com. I would probably give it a 75.
75,
I'd probably give it like an 85.
85 nights.
Really like that.
Mm.
Really
Yeah, I
like
think I'd give it an 85 too.
85.
I'd quite like to
Just
see
copy
more
me.
from them.
that.
Same. I'd give it an 86.
86.
Why not?
Interesting.
Why not? My high score tonight.
She's not a follower.
She's not a chaser.
All right, the scores are in, and in last place, it's Divorce with All My Freaks, and they got a sweet score of 34 out of 100,
Eesh.
which is just brutal.
That's it was a good. We all said, yeah, that was a decent song.
I definitely did not say
Well,
that.
3 of us said that. What dragged them down, do you think?
You and Jules,
I don't know. I feel like sorry, Divorce. You deserve better.
you deserve better than us. In second last place, it's Waxahatchee with Much Ado About Nothing, and she got 49.5. In third last place, it's sadly for him, Geordie Greep, because of Johnny's
Zero.
score
Hatred.
of 0 with Blues.
If I could give it less, I
And
would.
he got 55.75.
What did we haven't given the album anything yet, but the review will be
yet.
coming out soon.
It's coming.
Mhm.
on
It's coming.
stilllistening.com.
It'll probably be out by the
Still
time,
listening
man.
magazine.
Magazine.com.
Johnny, do you even go here?
We
All
just
right.
found Johnny on the street.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In third place, it's The Cure with Alone, and they got 67 out of
How is that
100.
in third place?
I wouldn't have expected to get 67 overall, but I think it was a good track.
Mm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I guess I gave it a highish score.
Mm.
I think we really need to reevaluate our score giving, guys.
Okay,
No.
Johnny.
You, zero.
It's where the scores crumble down, you know? That's what makes it fun.
That's true.
In second place, it's Man Woman Chainsaw with,
The Boss.
and they
The
got
Boss.
77 out of 100. So good for them.
Yeah, good, decent.
You know,
score for them.
I booked them once. Actually, I booked them 3 times.
Thrice.
Not once, not twice.
But thrice.
And the winner of this week's Single Showdown is Morgan Noise with I Put Everything with 82.75.
What? We definitely just got drunk.
I feel like it was a great song. It was
a good
definitely the
song.
most interesting song of the night.
And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear more by them.
Same.
Completely, yeah.
What, should we end it on like a slightly more professional night?
Yeah, what should we sing? Eliot, can you just say
I
something?
don't know.
Thank
For
you.
listening to Single Showdown. It's been a wild ride.
Follow us on Insta and message us what you want us to review next.
Yeah.
We've got a Twitter, we've got a website.
Do you want us to review your music? Then
Send it
message
in.
us.
We ain't.
It's fun. It's
Goodbye.
friendship. It's
Still listening.
Ah! Alright, that was been